Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we do a new character every week. This week, we're going to be talking about the Mighty Thor, and I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad.
And I'm Steven.
Hello, guys. How's it going? How are you doing today, Brad?
Fine.
That's good to hear. How are you doing, Steven?
I'm doing actually pretty excellent.
I'm glad you are doing excellent. Brandon is not here today, because he is at a wedding, unfortunately. But
And not
we
his
will
own.
Not his own. Correct. Yeah. So we are going to press on without him. Well, we have some news to discuss that is, well, before I go into news, let's go over upcoming tournaments. Uh, Coming up on the 17th of August, there's going to be a tournament at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. That is going to be run by Brad. So come on down, check it out. It'll be a fun time. I will be there, and I'm hoping there will be a couple other folks there. So, yeah, come on down. That's the 17th. Then coming up later in September, on the 14th of September, is the Akron Brew Brawl. This was fun the last time we went, and I am already signed up for this one, so I'm looking forward to playing in that event again. Then coming up on the 21st of September is another tournament at Lost Legion Games and Comics. Uh, and then on the 28th is the Fabricators Forge BECC qualifier. That is in Pittsburgh at Fabricators Forge, and I am going to go. It should be a fun time. I should say, I mentioned earlier the Akron Brew Brawl. The Akron Brew Brawl has a $40 buy-in, but you get a meal. You get a meal with that, and you get your first drink for free. You get a drink token, and the food was very good the last time we went. Don't you guys? Do you guys agree? It was
Yes.
worth the
It was
and they
very
Yes.
had pretty
good.
good. Yeah, they had pretty good prize support as well. So. But
Yeah.
I did want to point out that it was a $40 buy-in for the Akron Brew Brawl.
Yeah. And don't worry, they had food left over. And there were, 24 people there for that and some other tournaments too.
Yeah.
So they won't run out of food.
Right. Okay. So let's discuss a few things, a few pieces of news that we got out of AMG recently. Specifically, one big piece of news: there is a new card on the restricted tactics card list, and that is my Hellfire Club, Emma Frost's leadership. This is wild. This took me a little bit by surprise, if I'm to be perfectly honest. Now I'm not. I know that it's a very good leadership. Uh, in fact, it may be one of the best leaderships. I was just surprised that they put it on the restricted list. What do you guys think about this? What do you think about this, Brad? Do you have any thoughts?
They don't put any other leaderships on the restricted list, even though they're really good. Can we put Kingpin's leadership on the restricted list, please?
Yeah, seriously. I don't know how to. It may be easier to fix this one because it's tough to put Kingpin's leadership on the restricted list, but this one is a tactics card, so this is a way to rein it in a little bit.
This leadership is getting changed, and this is the band aid. So,
This is like the placeholder for until they
right.
come out with a new card.
Because the thing is, they've modified and changed Sam's leadership in the errata, right? Um, when it concerns grunt characters.
They did the same with Kingpin as well. They took out grunts for him.
Mhm. So I think they're doing a rework on this card, and that rework is kind of easier because when we got the updated cards, like for the Ironbound books of Shimagoroth, right? They just did a print to play, and you just put it on. So I think something of that nature is happening. They're just trying to figure out what they're going to do.
Okay, okay, that's very possible. We're just flailing in the dark here. This came out of nowhere, But yeah, that's my Hellfire Club is now restricted.
They know it's a problem. That's what it
Yeah.
comes down to.
It means that you can't have patch up and brace with my Hellfire Club. And
Yeah.
and that might be part of it. Like they could heal very often. They were healing up quite a bit.
That affiliation's gonna have a hard time taking 10 tactics cards.
Yes, that is correct.
Because almost all of the neutral tactics cards have been removed from the game.
Yeah, that's true. They're certainly going towards more specific tactics cards, which I think is probably a good thing.
Is there any rule that says you have to show up at a tournament with 10 tactics cards?
No, that's just the maximum.
Yeah, so you could play with 8 if that's all you need. Well, this is a change up, and I'm interested to see how it shakes things around. Okay, so another piece of information that they released are the affiliations for the folks in the Asgardian box. I know that they're all Asgardian. No surprise there. Loki is Criminal Syndicate.
That was the surprise.
That was the surprise. Loki being Criminal Syndicate. I'm sure that everyone who plays Kingpin is jumping for joy. Okay. What other? Are there any other weird? Are there any other affiliations that are worth mentioning?
Yeah.
Our esteemed guest today became one with the A-Force.
That's true. The Mighty Thor.
I believe somebody predicted that too.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Last week.
Extra points. Okay. But otherwise, I think Sif is only Asgardian, and same with the Thor Hero of Asgard.
Hero of Midgard.
Hero of Midgard. You're right. Sorry.
Which begs to say why? Because if he's the hero of Midgard, he's got to be going around with an Earthbound team. Avengers.
No, he's not part of a team. It's him on his own.
Anyway.
Okay. Well, that is the news that we've gotten out of AMG. Let's move on to, or is there anything else? I don't think there is. I'm pretty sure there's not any extra news. Let's move on to games we've played recently. Steven, do you have some games you want to talk about?
Yes, I do. Thursday night was our normal gathering. I played Cody, the Doctor Strange player that Brad played, who didn't like what Cody did to him. So we played a game at 15. It was sword base and paranoid, almost populous. He was running Black Order. I chose 15. I was running Hydra. I chose 15 because I didn't want to see Thanos. And he ended up taking Cosmic Ghost Rider, Black Swan, and Black Dwarf. I took the esteemed team of Claw, Winter Soldier, Baron Strucker, and Arnim Zola. And this game, I found out something really, really quick. And I was kind of surprised by it. Bucky and Claw both have suppressive, and you can take a lot of power off people really, really quick. So
okay,
he was kind of drained of his power to do all the things that he wanted. So, and then of course Claw just keeping everybody out because it's sword based and it's very close, and Claw's very good on that one because they move in. He says, "Just go away."
Yep.
So,
was he playing without a leadership?
Correct. Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
He wanted to run the Black Swan, Black Dwarf card, where he teleports Dwarf up. So.
Okay.
Black Onslaught, I think it is. So he was using tactics cards like that, so we could get a some movement, obviously, doing Ghost Riders cards, so on and so forth. So.
Okay. He was testing out some of those more obscure Black Order cards.
Yeah, but it's Cody. He's our resident brewer, right? He figures out these janky plays with big people. So,
Yeah.
but it ended up 12-17, so it was a good game. And then we went to have our wings afterwards. Yay! Then on Friday. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You keep going.
Then on Friday, I actually got a message from a friend saying that there was a group near him down in Canton, Ohio, that played Marvel Crisis Protocol on Friday nights. And he let me know if I was interested. And of course, I grew up in that area, so I know a lot of people down there. I said, sure, it's only an hour away. So I went down and I met the group led by Chris. There were a couple other people, John, Jeffrey, Alex, that I met. I happen to know one of the owners of the store that I went to, so it's kind of like a homecoming. But I ended up playing Chris, very nice gentleman, and we ended up on Sword and Scrolls. So I brought out my Hydra list again because I'm kind of sticking with that for a while. We ended up on 15. He was running Web Warriors. He ran Miles, Spectacular Spider-Man, and Ghost Spider, along with Shuri and Black Panther, Chosen of Bast for his 15. I went with Claw, Winter Soldier, Operative, Baron Strucker, and Arnim Zola again. So, and this game is
that is an interesting team. Are you liking them? Is it doing what you want them to do? I'm assuming you're meaning Winter Soldier, Operative.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
That is the pair of pairs. Okay. So,
okay.
And this specific mission, Sword Base, is my Claw mission. He also comes out for things like Demons Downtown.
Yeah.
Arnim Zola can be switched out, and I probably should have switched him out this game for a Mystic Attacker, because I had Hood or Baron Mordo in there, and I know that wouldn't make me Hydra, but I would just play Sleeper Agent on like Claw, just to make it all Hydra again. You know what I mean?
You can't do that.
Yeah.
So, why is that?
You check for affiliation before you play that card. Those cards can never make you affiliated.
Got it. Okay, well, good to know. So, my plan has been foiled by Brad.
Well, not by me. By the rules for him.
But as is, Chris ended up winning this game 17-16. It was very close. But again, the Claw Winter Soldier combination of draining power off of spiders is very annoying. So,
yeah, I can imagine. They really need their power.
But yeah, Chris was like, I'm not familiar with this team, because he tried to pull or push Claw out of the middle with Shuri and Ghost Spider. Of course, you can't be advanced or pushed by energy attacks from enemies or by superpowers. So he's kind of staying there unless you have a throw or a place.
Right. That one, the superpowers is super relevant. But like, are there very many? I think that the only energy attack that can move someone is on Arnim Zola. I might be wrong about that.
You forgot Shuri just now.
Oh, Shuri. Oh, then never mind.
And you forgot Doctor Strange.
And Iron Man. Never mind. I'm taking it all back.
So,
never mind.
By the way,
yeah.
So yeah, there's enough energy attacks that do move you that is kind of relevant at times.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I think kind of the same thing happened with Cosmic Ghost Rider, because he couldn't move Claw out of the way with his one superpower. So, or incinerate him at the same time. So, needless to say, I'll probably be going down on Fridays. An hour drive down. So it's no big deal because my dad was down there. And then last night I went to my board games down in Canton, Ohio again. And the owner of the place that we play these board games at, this board game parlor, he wanted to know Marvel Crisis Protocol. So I took a little intro game down for him, doing Spider Foes and Web Warriors, but we did a scenario just to show him the mechanics of the game. He got really, really interested in it. So we'll be doing more of that come later on, like doing a full game. Like he's invited me to message him, email him, let him know. They open at 4, but he goes, we could get her earlier before I open and do the game, and then I can get into business, right? So
Okay. Yeah, you're getting more people into the game. That's good.
yeah, excellent. So those are my adventures with MCV this week.
Nice. Brad, do you want to talk about our game?
No.
Okay, we can skip it. Okay, well,
You can. I don't care if you do.
Okay. Well, I played Brad, and this was a game. I was playing my Cabal list that I've been enjoying recently, and Brad wanted to play X-Men with Cyclops as the leadership. And suffice it to say, Brad's dice were the worst they've ever been. I think that here's how bad his dice were. Round 3, he had really only launched attacks into crossbones on my side. We were playing on Demons Downtown and Hammers. And round 3, he had still not dazed crossbones. He kept missing, and I kept blowing up my defense dice. And let's be honest, also my attack dice. So this game got exceptionally one-sided, and I ended up winning, and I felt bad. It was like another slap in the face to Brad when he's been having a bad string of luck with the game. So I'm sorry, Brad. I didn't mean to. I'm worried that I've ruined this game for another person.
Another person, Fred?
Well, I there's the joke that I'm the person who made JB quit War Machine, and that I'm apparently the person who makes people quit games.
You may have made JB quit War Machine since you were the last person to ever play him, but Brandon made him quit MCP, and all he ever did was demo the game for him.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you guys do not have a gentle touch for beginners, do you?
Brandon doesn't.
Right, Brandon does not. I've been having more and more trouble doing a non-competitive game. I'm in the competitive mode. Borka has started calling me C Red Fred, so I'm kind of I need to take my foot off the gas. I think just a little bit.
Steven, I would like to share the quote that Brandon told JB after the game.
Oh noes.
I couldn't convincingly throw that game without it being obvious because you played the game so bad.
Jeez.
Wow. Wow. That's vicious.
It is.
Oh, man.
Wow. All right.
Brandon needs to go to church more often.
He needs something.
He needs something. Let's move on to our recalibration matrix. So sometimes when we go over a character, we sometimes don't take into account how they affect the meta, or maybe they've been an errata. There's been an errata and the character has changed, or sometimes we're just plain wrong. And when that happens, we like to go to the recalibration matrix and give them a new grade. Today, we are going to be recalibrating Ulik. So I'm not exactly sure where we were mentally when we did our Ulik episode, but we were kind of up on him. I think we gave him like A's and B's, and I think Brandon gave him a C. And so really this is just for the three of us, because I really don't think he's all that good. Yeah.
Well, I have something to say on that.
Okay. Go ahead.
Beta Bill was done in episode 46, and Ulik was done in episode 47.
Yeah.
So I think we were a little bit high on Bill.
And it kind
Probably,
of spread over into Ulik.
yeah.
I think that we were thinking about him as being extremely mobile, which he is a mobile character. I just don't think I don't see the 5 on him. I've got him up right now. He has good attacks, like Pounders is a 6 dice builder, and then Shatter Mountain, Shatter Bones. If it can give the target an activated token if you get a pretty hefty hit and a skull, but you have 9 dice to do that, so that's not unlikely. It's just something about him. I just don't think he's that. There's nothing shiny here. He reduces damage too, which is also good. I just don't think that he brings a kit that's worth 5 points, 5 threat.
I think he will now, because I think scenario play is going to be down.
With the change with the errata to the cards?
Correct, yeah. I think attrition's going to be more on the menu.
I have been enjoying playing Cabal recently. I'm gonna look this up. Is Ulik Cabal? I think he's just criminal. He's criminal.
No,
syndicate.
he's Cabal. He's Cabal.
He is. Okay.
Because he goes with Malekith.
Yep. All right. Well, I may think about him. I'll think about him, but like I've been saying, I don't think that I would rather have Ultron Metal Tyrant than Ulik. I think Ultron Metal Tyrant is a better model at 5 points.
We should have got.
I don't know.
We should have got Borka's opinion about Ulik. He's been playing him.
Yeah, we should have. Oh well, I'll ask him tomorrow, but that's not going to do us any good. All right, well, let's give a recalibrated grade here to Ulik. So I gave him a B when we previously did Ulik. I'm going to recalibrate that to a C+. You just don't really see him on the table much. And the one time that I did play against him, I basically destroyed him. I took him off the table before he could do a whole lot. So, I mean, I know that's circumstantial. That's one case, but he really didn't do a whole lot. Okay, Brad, what is your recalibration here on Ulik?
I think C+ is right on the money.
Okay. How about you, Steven? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts is about the same as what you and Brad contended. I would have to say that he either needs a couple of immunities or he needs like a healing factor 1 to be in that 5 category. Things have just come out that are honestly just better.
Yeah. He's being outshined by a lot of the more recent 5s.
Outshone is the correct term.
Yeah, you're right. All right. He's being outshone. Okay. Well, let's move on. That was our recalibration matrix. Brad, do you have a trivia game for us to play?
I do, Fred. I got exciting trivia today. So how this works is I'm going to ask Fred a trivia question about, where the answer is a character in Marvel Crisis Protocol. Unfortunately, the trivia is not about Marvel Crisis Protocol. It's about the comics, and Fred hasn't read the comics. If he gets it right, he'll get 3 points. I'll then give him a hint about who this is. If he gets it right there, he'll get 2 points. If he gets it wrong after both of those, it'll go to Steven, who has a chance to answer and get Fred 1 point. Fred needs 6 points to win.
Okay.
Fred, do you have any questions about the rules? Good. Here's your first question. This character stole celestial technology, including a sentient spaceship he used as a base until letting a group of heroes take it over.
Stole celestial technology. A sentient spaceship. Is it Thanos?
That is incorrect.
Okay.
Your hint. This character helped Kang fight off an alien invasion to save the world.
Is it Apocalypse?
Fred was listening to me on Thursday. It is Apocalypse.
You brought that up. I remember that.
Okay, so Fred has 2 points so far. You're doing better than normal, Fred.
I am doing better than normal.
This character once corrupted an island full of people and had them running fighting pits, among other things. This was originally supposed to lead to a big war between various mutant factions, but that was changed when the writer left Marvel.
Okay, mutant factions, a character that corrupted a whole island of people and had them fighting in fighting pits. Corrupted a whole crew, a whole island of people. Who would have done that? Is it this is going to be I have no idea. Is it Emma Frost?
That is incorrect. Your hint. This character seemingly died in their first appearance after battling another superpowered individual. This character survived that encounter, however, but lost their physical body and could only interact with the world as a psychic entity.
Is it Shadow King?
That is correct, Fred. That is 4 points so far.
Yeah, he died fighting Professor X, right?
He did, and he corrupted the Muir Island X-Men and allies. And it was supposed to lead to an event called the Mutant War.
But then the writer left.
Yeah, Chris Claremont left Marvel because they're trying to tell him how to write his comic. You know, one of the best-selling comics for 16 years straight when he wrote it. But they were trying to tell him how he should write it.
Was this when Marvel was in the weeds?
He left in 92. Might have been 91. Okay. Right about then. You know,
same year Midnight Suns came out.
A couple years before they filed for bankruptcy.
Okay. That puts me at 4 points.
It does.
I think.
For the Apocalypse question, do you know what the celestial ship's name was?
I have no idea.
Of course you don't.
There's no way.
Its name was Ship.
Oh, okay.
Your final question, Fred. You just have to get this right on your own without Steven's help, and you win this week. This character sent Cable a cease and desist for using the trademark name of the group this character runs. Cable had to change the name of his group to Six Pack.
Is it Six Pack? Changed it to Six Pack.
Yeah, Cable changed. It was something else before.
Was it Six or was it the Sinister Six? Is it Dr. Octopus?
It is not Dr. Octopus. Your hint.
Okay, well.
Which you need to win the game. This character was hired to catch a renegade individual, but was dating him when she wasn't on the clock.
It's Silver Sable.
It is Silver Sable.
Yeah.
Steven, what was the name of Cable's group and Silver Sable's group until she sent the cease and desist?
The Wild Pack.
The Wild Pack.
Okay.
And so he renamed it to Six Pack. That was way more misleading than I thought it was going to be. That's fun. All right. Your bonus question. What do these characters have in common?
Okay, so we've got Silver Sable, we've got Apocalypse, and we've got the Shadow King.
I thought you were going to forget the second one again.
Did you hear how long it took me to say
yes.
it? It took me that I was vamping. Okay, so let's what do they have This is a good one cuz I have no clue. I have no clue what these three have in common. Apocalypse. They don't have an affiliation in common. Do they? Is it? No, they don't. I've really got nothing. I don't have anything here, Brad. I'm not sure what these people have in common.
Well, the only affiliation we know for Apocalypse is Servants of Apocalypse, so it wasn't going to be affiliation.
Right.
Steven, do you know what they have in common?
Well, I'm trying to draw the threads together. Silver Sable and Apocalypse are obviously the leader of groups. I don't know who Shadow King is, but that would be my direction I would go. So,
nope. They all give out root.
Oh, okay.
we have to look at the cards, Fred.
Yeah, I don't have this intricate of a knowledge of what all these characters do. We haven't even done Apocalypse yet.
Well, we don't have the back of his card yet, but he does give out root.
Yeah, okay. All right, well.
That's it. You won. Good job.
We won. Yay.
No, you won.
You did do it all on your own, Fred.
I did do it all on my own this time, but oftentimes I need help. Okay. Well, thank you, Brad, for the trivia game. Let's move on to the person that we are here to cover today, and that is the Mighty Thor, otherwise known as Jane Foster. Her defenses are 4 physical, 4 energy, and 4 mystic. She has 8 stamina on her front side and 6 stamina on her back side. She has a threat value of 5, a size 2, and a movement speed of medium. She also has a lot of rules on her card, so I'll do the attacks here. So her first attack is a physical attack called Hammer Strike. It is a range 3 that throws 6 dice, and it has 0 cost. It is a builder with a wild throw. After the attack is resolved, if the target character is size 4 or less, this character may throw it away short. Her second attack is an energy attack called Lightning Blast. It is range 4. It throws 8 dice, and it is a power cost of 4. It has Wild Electric Shock. Before damage is dealt, all other characters within range 2 of the target character suffer 2 damage. And after this attack is resolved, the target character gains the Shock special condition. All right, Brad, why don't you do her leadership and the first of her superpowers?
All right, her leadership. Renegade Thor of Asgard. It's an Asgard affiliation, even though she's a renegade. Once per turn, when an allied character attacks an enemy character within range 2 of itself, the allied character may reroll 1 die in its attack roll. Additionally, once per turn, when an enemy character targets an allied character with an attack, if the enemy character is not within range 2 of it, the allied character may reroll 1 of its defense dice. Her active superpower 4 Midgard. It costs 3 action. This character makes a move action followed by an attack action. When making this attack, this character may reroll up to 2 of its dice. The superpower can be used only once per turn.
All right, and Steven, why don't you finish off the card?
Sure. You also have another active superpower called Inner Strength. It will cost you 3 power. Choose an interactive terrain feature of size 4 or less within 2 and throw it medium. This superpower can be used only once per turn. A reactive superpower, if she be worthy, it will cost you 2 power. When this character is defending against a physical or energy attack during the modified dice step, it may use the superpower. This character may reroll any number of its defense dice. And then she has 2 and 8s, or 3 I should say. Blessed by the All-Mother. During the power phase, this character gains 1 additional power. And then she also has flight and immunity to shock.
Okay. All right. So what are your first takes here? My first take is this leadership is it's not a bad leadership, but there's something about it that I find annoying. And that is there's a little bit of scornergy in here. she wants people to be within range 2 for attacks and outside of 2 for defense. So it can't affect the same enemy character for both effects.
That's true, Fred. But I like to look at it as no matter how far they are away, you get one of these benefits.
That's true. Okay. That's a different way. That's fair. That's fair. Also, if she gets her throw triggered, they will be farther away than 2.
That's true.
So,
for
Also,
her,
Fred, you can look at it that one of these is statistically better than the other.
what do you mean? Like,
if you get to reroll one of your attack dice, that is statistically better than rerolling one of your defense dice.
that is true because there are more successes on the attack than on the defense.
So you want to be up close.
Yeah, and I think that that's the case with the Asgardians. They want to be up close, and the defensive aspect here is where they are weaker, which is at range. Actually, she has 2 pretty long range attacks now that I'm looking at it. Like, they're both good also. Like, a size 4 throw on her builder on a wild trigger is pretty solid. That's a pretty good throw.
I like the fact that if you are in that range and then you get to throw on somebody and you can throw them into a group of their friends, and then if you got enough power, you can do the lightning blast. And if you get the wild, everybody within 2 of that person you just threw is taking 2 damage.
Yeah, that extra 2 damage. That's a pretty great amount of damage. Auto damage is always good, and 2 auto damage is fantastic. I like her that she has a charge as well, and she gets to re-roll 2 of her dice when she does it. It's kind of a it's always good to have an extra effect when you buy the charge, but this extra effect is, while good, is not as good as like providing stagger or some of the other effects that we've seen.
But re-rolling 2 dice is nothing to scoff at, especially if you get within range 2 and you're re-rolling 3 dice.
That's true. And if you're getting that, if you're trying to fish out that wild throw.
Yeah, the triggers are a big deal for that reroll.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this, Brad?
She seems pretty good. Like, I like her kit. She does a little bit of everything. Think of how many people don't have rerolls. Like Thor, original Thor. The biggest gripe people had about him is that he had no rerolls.
Yeah.
Well, this takes care of that. First of all, you can play him under her and get a reroll with him. Or, you take her instead, and she does have built-in rerolls, especially on defense. Like, she has defensive rerolls for days.
Mm-hmm. She's also a leader and you can play either one of the Thors under her, and you will have a very hard-hitting 2 models right there. Her and either one of the Thors will kill the world.
Yeah.
Steven, what are your thoughts here looking at Mighty Thor?
She's doing a lot. I like her 8 health, actually. That's the stat that stands out to me on this. 8 health on her healthy side.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit to take down. Because go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. What I was gonna say is it's always better to have more health on the front than on the back. I feel like I would rather have an 8-6 than a 7-7.
Yeah, but the other thing is that 8 can last a long time. If she be worthy. I mean, obviously mystic attacks take that out of the equation, but still. So
She's not weak to Mystic though, but I mean, she doesn't get to do the if she be worthy, but she has 4 Mystic defense, which is pretty solid.
yeah, so it's a dice game. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, that's true. We need to
but
talk.
health is not based on dice, right? So
Correct. We need to talk about her tactics card also. She has a very interesting tactics card. It is called Heart of the Worthy. It is Asgard specific and reactive. At the end of the activation phase, an allied, the Mighty Thor, may spend 2 power to play this card. The Mighty Thor removes her activated token. Then she immediately activates. During the next cleanup phase, the Mighty Thor is KO'd. Okay. So, this is interesting. You probably don't do this if she's on her healthy side. You do this when she's injured, unless you really need it, which I guess
You
would be
also
possible.
do the. I mean, if it wins you the game, you do it.
Yeah, true.
It's also like you probably don't do it until you think she's probably gonna die anyway, and then you pull the trigger.
True. It's tougher to judge that because it's at the end of the activation phase is when you do it.
Yes.
So it's after everyone's gone. So
Yeah.
I guess if she would die first thing next round, you're worried she's going to be like, if she's right next to a Hulk.
Yeah. This also gives up priority. 100%.
Oh yeah, it does.
Every single time it gives up priority.
The other thing about it is it gives you perfect information.
Yeah.
You know the board. You know the board state exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, they will not get to activate after she does this.
True.
And it could be game breaking against somebody like Web Warriors who like to go last.
That's true. This could be your way of getting past Web Warriors. It might be really good against Web Warriors. Okay, I have a question. So, what are your thoughts on this tactics card? Asgard has a bunch of very good tactics cards. Do you bring this if you have her in your party?
Probably not.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay. Do you think that it's just not worth the cost?
I could be wrong. It could have specific matchups where it's good. But I think as a general card, I don't think it's worth taking.
Okay.
Giving up priority and for sure losing your character.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want...
She might be your leader.
Yeah. You don't want to rely on your opponent making a mistake to win a game. But sometimes your opponent will make a mistake and win the game. So you might think, the right play is for them to kill her on their first activation next turn. And your opponent might decide to do something else. And then this card would have been wasted.
Right. Yeah, really what it is it's deferring your next round's activation into the round you're currently in, and assuming that she gets KO'd the next round. I can see this making the table, but it's definitely not one that's gonna come every single time you play. What are your thoughts, Steven?
I made a Rube Goldberg machine out of this. If you had cubes and Ghost Rider on one, and he had enough power, she could then do this little trick, and then the cube would get him, and then he would just take her off anyway. So still be on the board. Anyway, no. I think you consider this card if she is not your leader.
Okay. If you're playing under like
Loki, right?
Loki or 5-point Thor.
Yeah. I think you consider it if she's not your leader.
I think that does
Yeah.
make it better.
Right. If she's not your leader.
Yeah, so if I were playing Asgard, which I might at some point in time, I haven't got this box yet, but I did get Heimdall and Scourge, so they're going onto my painting table. I would consider this as my 10th card for those times I'm running a different leadership.
Okay. Boy, Asgard is really swimming in leaders now. And they're all expensive. They're all 5 threat.
But they can't keep up with Wakanda still.
Yeah, you're right. All right. We got to give a letter grade to the Mighty Thor. I think she's pretty good. Like she's pretty great even. I think she's not quite as interesting as Loki or as 6-point Thor in this box, but I do think that she's good and will see play. I'm gonna give her a solid B plus, a gentleman's B plus. That's what I'm gonna give to the Mighty Thor. All right, Brad, what are your thoughts for a letter grade?
She feels solid, like a pretty solid in uh, in her affiliations, which are Asgard and A Force. I think she's pretty solid there. The problem with A Force, of course, is that they have a 6-point leader, makes it harder to play a 5-point model. But like, she seems
She has flight. She could be the special delivery.
She does have flight.
Yep.
And she's probably better than Angela, who is a 5-point flight model.
I think she's definitely better than Angela.
That they have. It depends on your game. Like, if you want to fight, she is. But Angela's probably better at scenario.
Yeah.
Because she's a medium base long mover.
Whereas she's just a medium mover, small base.
Yeah. But I think I was going to say B, but I think I've talked myself into a B plus.
Okay. Steven, what are your thoughts here?
I'm actually going to buck the trend. I think she might be an A minus. She might be sneaky good.
Okay. You're the trend of you being underneath the two of us on the grades.
And the more I look at her, the more I like it. I especially if she's got 3 power, she does that charge. The possibility of her getting 4 power is not ridiculous, and her doing the throw and the lightning blast is not ridiculous. I mean, that's that could put somebody back on their toes really, really quick.
Yeah,
especially if you have something like say Demons Downtown, and you had somebody go to the middle to pick up a Montesi book, right? And you have somebody pass her power. She goes after that middle person, does that, knocks them back into their back point where all the people are, and I'm just fascinated by that combination. It just works really, really well.
Yeah. What if it's a Juggernaut? What if she throws a Juggernaut back into their back point and then does an additional 2 damage to everyone around him?
Yeah, I mean, it's the play pattern is looking better and better. I mean, that's all I got to say about it. I think she can be splashed in places that you might not expect.
Okay. All right. Well, that is our take on the Mighty Thor. I mean, this new Asgardian box is stacked with great models. I think that they are all very good. Brad, do you have any comic books that feature the Mighty Thor?
I do. So, I have 3 for us today. Fred, how many is that?
You have 2?
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
Never listens to me. That's why we started this whole trivia game. So, the first one is Thor from 2014, This is 8 issues by Jason Aaron and Russell Dauterman. There's a new Thor after Odinson was found to be unworthy and lost Mjolnir. He can't pick it up anymore. No one knows who the woman that took up the hammer is. This is very much real. I was tuned into the comic news when this was coming out, and there were so many theories about who this was. And I'm not going to spoil it here. I'm not going to tell you who is revealed to be Thor in issue 8. Okay?
Okay.
I'm not going to spoil it. The next one is...
I can make a pretty strong guess.
Well, it was definitely not Jane Foster. The fans had ruled that out.
Oh, the fans had ruled that out. It was definitely not going to be Jane Foster.
Jane Foster was dying of cancer. So, couldn't have been her.
Okay.
The next series is called Mighty Thor from 2016, 1 through 23. This is by Jason Aaron and Russell Dauterman. And this is the continuing adventures of Jane Foster Thor. Picking up from where the last series leaves off, this new Thor has to deal with Loki, gets involved in espionage, both corporate and traditional, and has to take on the gods of other races, specifically the Shi'ar.
The Shi'ar?
Yeah, the Shi'ar, which are the alien bird people that show up in X-Men.
Okay.
The third and final series for today is called Mighty Thor from 2017, and I'm talking about issues 700 through 706. So what this basically is the last series got renumbered to classic numbering, but it counts as separate for some reason. This is by Jason Aaron and Russell Dauterman. Fred, have you ever heard of those two people?
So I'm not great with names of. Are they people that I should know?
They're the same two people who worked on the last two series.
Okay.
It's the same writer and artist all the way through.
Okay.
So in this series, being Thor is killing Jane. But she's not going to stop. She wants to help people. And it's kind of a question of, will she survive long enough to stop the War of the Realms? Are you familiar with the War of the Realms, Fred?
Nope. No idea.
It is where Malekith gets all the bad guy Asgard people together to invade and take over the world. Midgard.
Oh, okay.
Midgard world. So,
okay.
Jane has to stop it with the help of like Odinson and a bunch of other people, but
yeah, of course.
And it's not every appearance of Jane Foster Thor, but that's every series she got individually.
Yeah. Is she canonically dead? Like, did she die, or
you want me to spoil the end of that last series?
No, don't answer that question.
It is well known, the answer to your question, Fred. So I will answer the question. She dies at the end.
Okay.
That's not the end of her story.
Okay. Well, all right. Thank you, Brad. Steven, do you know of a faction where you think that the Mighty Thor would really shine?
Yes, I do. But, Fred, I want to ask you a question first.
Okay.
We had the Mightiest Core box come out in October of last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have gotten 2 affiliation boxes since then. This being the Asgard one and the previous one being the Spider-Foes box. Which box do you think did more for their affiliations?
Which box did more for their affiliation? It's got to be the Asgardian box.
Really, you
I,
traitor?
th- what? Hey, listen, I was playing Spider Foes. My Spider Foes starting models are still almost always Rhino, Doc Ock, and Green Goblin. Those are usually the first 3 models I grab.
No, I understand. I was just wondering what your opinion was on that. I was surprised to hear that you thought. I think it's the opposite, in my personal opinion.
You think that the Spider Foes? Now, here's okay. Actually, the big change that happened to the Spider Foes is they got some fantastic tactics cards. Like Surprise Webhead changes things substantially. It makes it so I can deal with a Hulk without a whole lot of trouble. And um so in that regard, Spider Foes got better tactics cards and Asgard got better models. How about that?
Okay, all right. I think Spider Foes box actually has more utility because they were all criminals, also.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So, anyway, past that. I know she has triggers, and I know everybody's tired of me saying First Avenger, Captain America.
It's all right. That's
And
just like Brandon saying everyone's better in Kingpin.
but you know where I think I'd play her if I were at 17? I'd play her in a Malekith Cabal with Ulik and just have those 2/5s going around with Malekith causing havoc.
Oh boy. That would be the tallest list ever.
But she can handle the big things, right? Because he can only throw smalls now, right? I mean,
He-
three or smaller.
Correct.
She and Ulik are displacing 4s and bigger.
Okay. That's fair.
And she's got a charge. Ulik has his move. Malekith has charges. You can't get away from these people. So
Yeah, they will chase you down.
so I think she would be a fun splash in there.
I did not see that one coming, and yes, that would be a fun splash. That would be interesting. All right. The last thing that we have to cover is my non sequitur recommendation. So, Jane Foster was played by Natalie Portman, obviously, in the movies. So I'm going to recommend a 2018 sci-fi horror movie that it kind of flew under the radar. I believe that it is currently on Netflix. It's a movie called Annihilation. It's starring Natalie Portman. And it involves a scientist who delves into a region where the laws of physics are acting differently. And it is taut, it is scary, it's very well put together, and it's an enjoyable B movie at a time when there are very few of those to watch. So, highly recommend from me. It's a movie called Annihilation, and that'll be it.
Hold on,
Oh,
Fred. I've been meaning to watch that movie, but you know what movie I watched last night that I enjoyed a whole lot?
what movie?
Madam Web.
Really?
Yeah, I enjoyed the heck out of that movie.
I've heard that it's like it got panned by a lot of thought pieces, but I've heard from other people that it's actually just a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Like
like
it's dumb and stupid, but it's fun as hell.
it is fun. And people complained about Dakota Johnson being like awkward and stuff in the movie, but like it's clear it was written that way and it was on purpose.
Yeah. Dakota Johnson's a good actress. Like she's not bad.
She was the best part of the movie by far.
Okay. Madam Web. Okay. I have not seen it.
Evil Spider-Man was also cool.
Evil Spider-Man.
I mean, that's what the villain is, Fred. It's Evil Spider-Man.
All right. Well, that will do it for our podcast record today. Thank you all for joining us, and I hope that everyone out there listening has a wonderful week going forward. Goodbye, everyone.